Hi, everybody. I just wanted to connect with you real quick because I haven't been able to since the new year began because I have had the flu and my system was compromised because I had something called the Tdap shot, and it's a vaccination that is whooping cough, diphtheria, and tetanus. And I had this shot because my granddaughter is pregnant, and you cannot go in the birthing room if you don't have the shot these days. So I decided to go ahead and get it, even though I'm not big on any kind of vaccinations like that. But I had a reaction to a particulate in it. It's a binder, I believe, is what it's called, and it really weakened my immune system. I still have a hard time even lifting my arm, and that was in December 23rd, and I'm still having a reaction to it. Weakened my immune system, so when Gary and I went to Orlando to Universal Studios for our anniversary on December 31st, I was around thousands of people, and somebody, I'm sure, had the flu, and so I got it. And by the first, I was hit hard, and I've been down and out and have had a hard time recovering. And it's interesting because I haven't had the flu in I don't even know how many years. I don't get the shot, and I just don't get sick. But this year, for some reason, I got sick, and I do believe it's because of that shot that I got. So just beware that if you have a sensitive system, you might want to look at the particulates in it and see if it's something that you are sensitive to, so that you don't have a weakened immune system as well. This is something that I'm trying to treat naturally. I'm actually getting ready to do a detox. The detox that I'm doing is, actually, I guess I've already been doing it because all I've been pretty much drinking since the beginning of the year is chicken noodle broth, or chicken broth, excuse me, no noodles, just chicken broth and some chicken noodle soup that I've made homemade. And today, if you look at my hands, you'll see they're a little purple because I just made some elderberry syrup. And if anybody's interested in me sharing my recipe, I'll be happy to do that. It is for cold and flu, and as you know, elderberry is just wonderful to support your immune system. And I make my own because I don't want a bunch of refined sugars in it and all the other chemicals that they can put in it. So I do a very simple recipe. And again, if anybody's interested at a later date, I can share how I make my own. And the other thing I want to talk about is I have been astral traveling, and this came about for the new year because I actually watched Doctor Strange, and in that he talks about a lot of metaphysical stuff, and one of the things is astral traveling, where somebody hits him and he's punched out of his body, and he's like, whoa, what's happening to me? Why am I having this out-of-body experience? And he finds out it's astral traveling, and I thought, I haven't done that in a while, and I've never really focused on it. I've done it actually in my dreams, but I never consciously went into a meditative state and went into astral traveling. So I decided I was going to try it this year, and a lot of interesting things happened as I've been astral traveling. The very first day that I astral traveled, I just said, as I went into this meditative state, take me to where you need me to be. And I guess this was about 10 days ago. I was put right in the middle of the crowd, and this crowd, thousands of people, were pushing up against me. And I realized when I looked around that I was in Iran, and I knew that their general had just been killed. And I could feel their pain. I could see the pain on their face. I could see their expressions, and they were crying and they were devastated, and all these people were united in their pain, but they were pushing and they were shoving me, and I was getting overly emotional and afraid, and I knew people were going to die. And so my fear brought me back into my body very quickly, and I found that that experience was really scary for me. And that evening, when I watched the news, I found out that 15 people had actually been stampeded and died. And I knew that at that moment that was happening. That morning is when I astral traveled, and then that night is when I heard it on the news. And I knew that was true. I knew it was when it happened. So the next morning, day 2, I decided to astral travel again, and I wanted to go back to the same place. This time I decided to put myself into a protective bubble. So that's what I did. And I went back to the same place. This time my bubble was kind of kicked around a little bit, but it gave me a better opportunity to really witness people's faces, and I could see their pain more clearly. I could see them crying. Some people were angry. Some people were really there was a lot of vengeance on their face, and I could hear them yelling death to America, and it scared me. And so once again, that fear brought me back into my body, and it was a pretty scary circumstance. And so I came all the way back into my body, and I just started meditating on the circumstances. And the next day, day 3, when I started meditating and astral traveling, I said, this time, please take me to where I can be the most benefit to people that are hurting so much. And all of a sudden, I could see myself, and I was transparent, and I could see myself, and I looked up and around, and I could see all these other people that were astral traveling as well. And those people were joined by people that actually had transitioned to the other side. So people that were in the spirit realm, and I could see their souls, and they reached out their arms, and I just knew what to do. And I reached out my arms with them, and we all connected our arms, and we were hugging the world. And I could feel nothing but pure love and light as we were hugging the world. It was, I have to say, the most blissful, beautiful, loving experience. And I knew that I was going to be led to understand what was going on, and why all this pain, and why all this suffering, and what to do about it. To love. So all of us together, if we wrap our arms around the world and hug the world and show people love and light, we can help heal the world. Now, I've been astral traveling every day since, and again, I wanted to join you here on Energized Living today and tell you what I've been doing, but I haven't had much of a voice, and I haven't been feeling well. But I've decided I'm well enough now that I can start sharing my experience, and each day has been a new journey, and I've learned some remarkable things. So I'm going to continue to share here. I want to end it here with love and light, and just the uniting of our arms and hugging the world, and just experiencing the I am love of all that is. So wrap your arms with mine, Astral Travel, and join me there each morning if you can. And I will continue to join you here on Energized Living today. And I'm going to set a time. I don't know when that will be, but I'd like to send a time to each of you so that you can join me live. I'd like to do it in the morning after I astral travel. So I'm going to try and do that. But again, it's been kind of hard to predict because I wake up, my head, you can see my eyes are kind of puffy. and I'm going to be sharing about that too in my protocol on how to heal my body, because it's been quite a long journey. So I'll share that as well as the astral traveling. And oh, by the way, along with the elderberry syrup that I'm using, and liquids, I'm starting juicing today, and also coffee enemas. So that's what I'm doing to support my body, as well as going on these journeys. So I am going to share them with you, hopefully every morning, but as soon as I can get past the coughing fits that come with the morning crud that kind of builds up over in the evening. So anyways, I love all of you. I hope that this is going to be helpful, and I hope it will help guide you into a conscious way of being that really will support you in your physical body and also in an astral plane, so that we can support the world. And I love you all, and I will let you know when the next post will be. Namaste.